I died on a rainy Tuesday in October, choking on the bitter taste of betrayal as the pills dissolved on my tongue. My brother's face was the last thing I saw, Ethan's smug grin plastered across every news channel, touting his billion-dollar app like he was the second coming of Steve Jobs. And me, Charlotte Hale, the ghost in the machine, reduced to just the secretary in his polished lies. The world bought it hook, line, and sinker, while I rotted in obscurity, my dreams stolen and my name erased. But death, it was a glitch, a cosmic do-over. Because when I opened my eyes, it wasn't to the sterile white of a hospital morgue or the fiery pits of whatever hell scumbags like him end up in.
No.
I was back, 25 years old, heart pounding in my childhood bedroom in suburban Boston, the alarm clock blinking 7 a.m. on a crisp September morning in 2023. The day before I ever whispered my startup idea to him. The mirror across the room showed my face, younger, unscarred by the whiskey binges and sleepless nights that would come. My hands trembled as I touched the glass, expecting the cold finality of the grave. But my pulse raced.
Alive.
This isn't real, I thought, slamming my fist against the sink until porcelain cracked. Ethan hasn't screwed me yet. He hasn't paraded my code as his own. Hasn't laughed in that boardroom while lawyers shredded my claims. The betrayal hit me like a freight train all over again. How he'd sweet-talked me into partnering up, promising we'd build an empire together. Our family's always been a pressure cooker, Dad's Wall Street ghost haunting us, Mom's early Alzheimer's leaving us to fend for ourselves. Ethan, the golden boy, charming and ruthless.
Me,
the quiet coder, pouring my soul into algorithms that could predict market crashes before they happened. Hail Predict, that's what I called it. An AI app that scans social media, news feeds, and trading data to forecast economic shifts for everyday investors. Revolutionary.
Mine.
I stumbled to my laptop, fingers flying across keys that felt foreign yet familiar. The file was there, projectphoenix.docs, time-stamped yesterday. Untouched. No emails to Ethan yet. My breath hitched. This was it, the fork in the road where I chose trust last time and ended up a footnote in his success story. The headlines I'd memorized from my grave: Ethan Hale's Hail Predict disrupts fintech, from garage to IPO in record time. And the kicker? In interviews, he'd say, my sister helped with admin stuff. Sure. But the vision? All me. Lies that gutted me deeper than any knife. I'd confronted him once, tears streaming, only for him to counter with, prove it, Charlie. Show me the patents. I had nothing. No paper trail. Just a sibling bond he'd weaponized.
But now?
Now I had time. And rage.
Pure.
Molten fuck you rage that tasted like redemption.
I wouldn't tell him a damn thing.
I'd patent it first, bury the idea so deep in legalese he'd need a shovel to steal it. Then I'd watch him squirm. The thought sent a thrill through me, dark and delicious. Was this murder in my heart?
No.
Just justice, American style, cutthroat, zero-sum. In this country, you don't get points for playing nice. You win, or you get buried. By noon, I was on a train to New York, laptop clutched like a grenade. The city hit me like a slap, horns blaring, sidewalks teeming with dreamers and sharks. Last life, I'd crashed on Ethan's couch in Brooklyn, too broke to afford my own place after dropping out of MIT's grad program to chase this dream. This time, I'd bootstrap solo. No safety net. I hit a patent attorney in Midtown, a grizzled ex-Google lawyer named Miriam Voss who chain-smoked in her corner office overlooking Times Square. This AI predictive model's gold. Kid, she rasped, scanning my code. But filing provisional patents costs $5,000 upfront. You got that. I didn't. But I had grit. Give me a week. She raised an eyebrow but slid me the forms. Back in a dingy Airbnb in Queens, paid with my last credit card, I coded through the night, refining the algorithm. Hail Predict wasn't just data crunching, it was psychic. Weaving in sentiment analysis from X posts and Reddit rants to spot bubbles before Wall Street suits did. I'd poured 3 years into it last time, only for Ethan to slap his name on version 2.0 and pitch it to VCs while I handled secretarial crap like coffee runs. 3 days later, patents filed. Provisional, but ironclad. My name stamped on every line of code, every neural net twist. I celebrated with a stale bagel from a bodega, staring at the skyline from my fire escape. Ethan's text buzzed in. Hey sis, dinner tonight? Got big news. Last time, that big news was his pitch deck, my pitch deck. This time, I replied, can't. Swamped with work. His follow-up. Work?
Since when?
Come on. Family first. The hypocrisy burned. Family first, until it was time to erase me. I ghosted him for a week, crashing Miriam's network for free advice. She became my unlikely mentor, a chain-smoking Yoda in pearls. Your brother's in the game? Watch your back. Blood's thicker than water, but greed's thicker than blood. She hooked me up with a co-working space in Soho, where I met Lena, a sharp-tongued marketer from Detroit with tattoos snaking up her arms. What's your angle? She asked over lukewarm coffee, eyeing my setup. I told her everything, minus the dying and reborn part. Sounded too crazy, even for New York. Revenge startup?
Hell yeah.
I'll handle the branding if you cut me in. Lena was my first real ally. We bootstrapped. I coded. She hustled freelance gigs to pay rent. Hail Predict version 1.0 beta launched quietly on Product Hunt, disguised as an indie tool for gig workers. Downloads trickled in, then exploded. A viral thread on r/personal finance called it the Robinhood killer for predictions. By month 2, we had 50K users. Ad revenue trickling like manna. Ethan started sniffing around. Calls went unanswered. Emails piled up. Charlie, what's this app everyone's buzzing about? Sounds familiar. I smirked, deleting them. Let him stew. But revenge isn't a straight shot.
It twists.
Dad called from his nursing home in Boston. Alzheimer's had him lucid one day in 10. Your brother's pitching something big. Sounds like your old project. Proud of you both. His voice cracked, the ghost of favoritism lingering. Ethan always was the athlete, the charmer. I was the bookworm, the sensitive one.
That call gutted me.
Had Dad known? Suspected?
No.
But it fueled the fire. I couldn't let history repeat. Thanksgiving loomed like a guillotine. Mom was gone 2 years by then. Her funeral the last time we'd all pretended to be whole. Ethan insisted. Family dinner. No excuses. I showed up to our aunt's brownstone in Back Bay, Lena in tow as my +1 shield. The table groaned under turkey and pies, but the air was thick with subtext. Ethan, ever the host, poured wine with a flourish. Charlie's gone all entrepreneurial, he announced to the relatives, his smile sharp as a switchblade. Some little app. Cute, right?
Cute.
The word landed like a gut punch. Last life. I beamed at the praise, blind to the condescension.
Now.
I met his eyes, blue like mine, but colder. It's hail predict, I said evenly, forking mashed potatoes. AI for market forecasts. Doing okay. The room murmured approval. Ethan's fork paused midair. Hail predict?
That's
Familiar. You sure you didn't borrow from my notes? The table froze. Aunt Rita coughed into her napkin. Lena squeezed my knee under the cloth. Borrow? The audacity. Memories flooded, him rifling through my files for inspiration, me too trusting to lock my drive. Your notes. I laughed. Light but laced with venom. Ethan, you've been pitching VCs for months. If anyone's borrowing, it's the other way around. Gasps rippled. He flushed, that boyish charm cracking. Whoa.
sis.
Just kidding. But seriously, patents? You file. I sip my wine, savoring the moment. Filed and approved. Provisional, but they're mine. His eyes narrowed, calculating. The rest of dinner blurred, small talk over pie. His forced laughs. But as we cleared plates, he cornered me in the kitchen. What the hell? Charlie?
We talked about this.
Partners. Remember? You go rogue. That's betrayal. Betrayal. The word from his mouth was rich. Partners? I whispered. Voice steel. Last time I checked, partners don't claim the work as their own. Don't erase the architect. He blinked.
Throne.
Had I said too much? No, time travel's perks. I knew his playbook. You're paranoid. Always have been. Dad always said you were too emotional for business. Dad. Again. The knife twisted. Tell Dad I said hi. And stay out of my way, Ethan. This empire? It's mine to build. I walked out, Lena trailing, the door slamming like a vow. Winter hit New York like a blizzard of ambition. Hail predict scaled. User base hit 200K. Partnerships with indie brokers. Lena's marketing turned it viral. TikToks of users quitting dead-end jobs after nailing stock picks. VCs circled. But I played coy. Miriam warned, don't rush the money. Build the moat. My moat was the patents. Unassailable. But Ethan? He was building his own castle. It started with whispers. A LinkedIn post, excited to announce Hail Innovations, revolutionizing fintech with predictive AI. Stay tuned. No mention of me. Then, a podcast drop, him chatting up a podcaster about his algorithm. Eerily similar to mine. It's like having a crystal ball for the markets, he drawled. My crystal ball. Rage boiled. But I channeled it. Hired a PI discreet. Off books. Turns out, Ethan's been schmoozing the same VCs I'd pitching Hail Vision, a rebranded knockoff. He'd poached my early white paper, the one I'd shared for feedback. Sloppy. Brother.
Sloppy.
Confrontation came in a Soho cafe. Neutral ground. He slid into the booth. Armani suit screaming new money. Charlie, let's talk merger. Your app scrappy, mine's scalable. We combine. It's unstoppable. His eyes gleamed greed, not brotherhood. I slid a folder across, printouts of his pitch deck. Stolen code snippets. Verbatim. Merger? Or theft 2.0? He paled, then recovered with that salesman's smile. Coincidence. Great minds, right? But come on, I'm the face. You're. Behind the scenes, there it was. Secretary. The word hung unspoken. Behind the scenes, I leaned in, voice low. Like how you plan to bury me again. Claim I was just support staff while you cashed the checks. His mask slipped, jaw tight, eyes flashing. You think you're hot shit now? With your little beta? I built networks. I closed deals. You'd still be coding in mom's basement without me.
Lies.
All lies. But they stung, echoing the old wounds. The family favoritism. The way he'd shine while I faded. Without you, I hissed. I died because of you, Ethan. Metaphorically, last time. Not this round. He laughed. Uneasy. Dramatic much? Look. Sign the NDA. Join as COO. Or I'll bury you in court.
Threat.
Classic Ethan. I stood, tossing cash for the coffee. Try it. My patents are filed. Your vision? It's derivative. See you in hell, or the headlines. That night, alone in my apartment, doubt crept in. Was this revenge worth it? The tension coiled like a spring. Every ping from my phone a potential landmine. Lena crashed on my couch, cracking beers. He's a snake.
Char.
But snakes bite back. She was right. Ethan's next move was a smear, anonymous posts on Glassdoor, claiming HailPredict was unstable beta from an unqualified dev. Users dipped, 5% churn. I fought back. Transparent AMAs on Reddit, open sourcing minor features to build trust. Spring thawed the city, but not my heart. Dad's health tanked. I flew to Boston, finding him frail, eyes distant.
Charlie.
Your brothers. Something big. He gripped my hand. Proud of you. It was a question, laced with regret. Always was.
Dad.
Even when you forgot. He smiled faintly. Then, Ethan. He took your toys as kids. Always did. A secret spilled, childhood thefts. Small but telling. Ethan. Jealous of my smarts. Sabotaging science fairs. Claiming my A+ projects. The pattern. Blood ran cold. Back in New York, I doubled down. Raised a seed round, 1.2 mil from a female-led VC firm that loved the underdog story. Lena quit her gigs. We hired a dev team. HailPredict hit 500K users. Integrations with Robinhood. Ethan countered with a splashy launch. HailVision Beta. Hyped on CNBC. The future of investing, the anchor gushed. But beta testers leaked bugs, crashing predictions, privacy glitches. My PI dug deeper. Ethan's code? Rushed. Reverse engineered from public scraps of mine.
Shoddy.
The boardroom showdown brewed. His VC firm, prestigious, Old Boys Club, invited me to discuss synergies. I walked in heels clicking like gunfire. Patents in my briefcase. The room, glass walls, Hudson views. A dozen suits nursing espressos. Ethan at the head. Smug as sin.
Charlie.
Glad you came to your senses. I dropped the folder, lawsuit drafts. Infringement claims. Senses? Try due diligence. Your app's a Frankenstein of my IP. Cease and desist. Or we go public.
Gasps.
The lead VC. A silver fox named Harlan adjusted his glasses. MS. Hail. This is inflammatory. Ethan's pitch was compelling. Compelling lies, I shot back. He stole my work, called me secretary in private emails. I projected them, screenshots, timestamps. Ethan's face drained of color. That's doctored. She's unstable. Family drama. Unstable. The word ignited me. I leaned on the table, voice steady. Family drama? Like how you drove me to the edge last time.
No.
This time, I fight dirty if I have to. Murmurs. Harlan's steepled fingers. Proof. I had it. All of it. The white paper trail. Server logs from his hacks into my old shared drive. Lena's marketing had seeded influencers with leaks weeks ago, timed for this. Ethan's empire cracked. Stocks dipped on rumor alone. He lunged verbally. You bitch. This was our dream. Ours. I laughed. Bitter. You dreamed of glory. I dreamed of building. Difference is, I don't erase the builders. Security escorted him out as the VCs huddled. Harlan pulled me aside later. Bold move.
Piss. Hail. Risky. But
effective. We're interested in your company. Victory tasted like ash. Sweet, but hollow. Ethan sued anyway, frivolous claims of defamation. Courts laughed it out in months. My patents holding like steel. Hail predict IPO'd at $40 a share. Me at the helm. Lena as CMO. Billions in market cap. Headline screamed, Sister Trump's brother in fintech feud, from betrayal to billions. But the twist? It came quiet, in a hospital room.
Dad,
On his last lucid day, confessed over morphine haze. Ethan. He knew about Mom's tests. Hid them. Wanted the inheritance solo. Pushed her decline to control the will. The secret buried deepest, not just my idea, but our mother's life. Ethan, mired in debt from bad bets, had manipulated her care, skimmed funds. I'd glimpsed Ledger's last life, dismissed as errors.
now?
It shattered me. I visited him in his Manhattan penthouse. Post-IPO glow faded to ruin. Foreclosure loomed. Hale Vision bankrupt. He looked small, unshaven. Charlie. I was scared. Of failing. Of you outshining me. Tears? Or crocodile ones. You killed her, I said flatly. And tried to kill me. He crumpled. Forgive.
No.
I left him there, door clicking shut. Not by kitsch, not for me. Justice. Delayed but devoured. Hail Predict thrived, a beacon for underdogs. Lena and I toasted on a yacht, Hudson glittering.
To do-overs, she said.
To revenge. To rising from the dead. The yacht rocked gently under the summer sun. Champagne fizzing like the static in my veins. Lena sprawled on a lounger. Shades perched on her nose. Scrolling investor decks.
Char.
We've got Tesla-level buzz. Forbes wants the Revenge of the Sister profile. You in. I swirled my flute, watching foam dissolve.
In
hell, I'd scripted it in my head 1,000 times from the void.
But now,
with the wind whipping my hair and the city skyline a triumphant backdrop, it felt exposed. Like peeling back the scar tissue to show the raw meat beneath. Make it punchy, I said finally. No victim vibes. All shark. She grinned, typing furiously. Shark it is. That was Lena, brass tacks. No bullshit. She'd stuck through the depositions. The tabloid slop labeling me the vengeful sibling, while Ethan played the wounded prodigy. Public opinion split like a fault line. Team Charlotte trending on X with memes of me as a cyber avenger, countered by Hale family feud threads painting me as the cold calculator who destroyed her own blood. Controversy? It was jet fuel. Downloads surged 30% during the trial. Users hooked on the drama like a reality show with real stakes. But nights were harder. Alone in my Tribeca loft, views of the Brooklyn Bridge that mocked my isolation. I'd wake sweating, the pill bottle phantom in my hand. Death's echo, that rainy Tuesday. Rain lashing windows as I swallowed despair. Ethan's face on the TV, toasting his IPO while my lawsuit crumbled under lack of evidence. I'd clawed for proof, server logs wiped. Witnesses bought off. In the end, I chose the bottle over the fight. Weak? Maybe. But this life? I'd armored up. Miriam called mid-morning. Voice gravel from another Marlboro. Kid, your brother's appealing the dismissal. Pro bono from some sleazy firm. Smells like desperation. I paced the loft. Skyline blurring. Appeal? After the judge slapped it down as baseless IP grab. Ethan was cornered, creditors circling. His penthouse a revolving door of repo men. Let him, I said. Stealing. It'll cost him the shirt, but doubt not. What if he dragged Dad's estate into it? The will? Contested on undue influence from me, the ambitious daughter. Mom's hidden decline. Ethan's sabotage. Skimmed meds. Falsified records to hasten her fade for a quicker payout. Dad's confession had unlocked it all. Bank statements I'd subpoenaed quietly, showing transfers to Ethan's startup fund. Poisonous roots. I hired more muscle, a forensic accountant, Elena Vasquez, a Latina powerhouse from Miami with a nose for fraud. Over Zoom, her screen filled with spreadsheets. It's textbook elder abuse light, she said, accent clipping consonants. He delayed her treatments, pocketed the insurance float. If we go public. Her eyes gleamed. Go public? The controversy would erupt, family implosion on a national stage. Hale scandal. My brand, Hale predict. The trustworthy oracle could tank. Users fled ethical quagmires, VCs bolted from drama. But silence? That was complicity. The decision loomed. Controversial as hell. Expose the monster.
Risk the empire.
Or bury it. Become the villain who profited off pain. Lena voted expose. Fuck M. Authenticity sells. Miriam, strategic leak. Controlled burn. Elena, full frontal. Justice over optics.
Me?
I stared at Mom's photo on the mantle, smiling in Central Park. Pre-diagnosis. She believed in us both, even as Ethan chipped away her dignity for dollars. Full frontal, I decided. Leak the docs to ProPublica. Timed with Ethan's appeal hearing. The storm hit Manhattan like a nor'easter. ProPublica's drop. Fintech founder's dark secret. Alleged elder financial abuse in Hale family saga. Details dripped. Transfers. Medical logs. Ethan's emails dismissing her care as costly. X exploded. Threads dissecting the betrayal. Podcasters debating, is Charlotte Hale hero or hypocrite? My mentions a war zone. Supporters. Queens of code rising. Haters. She's weaponizing grief for clicks. Cancel her ass. Stock dipped 8% pre-market. I held the line in an emergency board call. Voice comm. This is the cost of truth. We're not hiding skeletons, we're exhuming them. Ethan's response? A tearful video on Instagram. My sister's twisting history. Mom's illness broke us all. I'm fighting for our legacy. Crocodile tears. Scripted by PR hacks. Views, 2 mil. Mine? A measured tweet. Truth isn't pretty. But silence kills twice. Hail Predict stands for transparency in markets and family. Retweets, 50K. The pivot worked. Beta users returned. Drawn to the rawness. Real talk from the CEO. One review read. Predicts more than stocks, predicts bullshit. But the tension peaked at the hearing. Federal court in Foley Square. Rain lashed the streets. Umbrellas blooming like black flowers. I slipped in back row. Incognito in a trench and shades, spectator. Not star. Ethan up front. Suit rumpled. Lawyers flanking like attack dogs. The judge. A no-nonsense black woman named Rivera. Scanned briefs. Mr. Hale. Your appeal hinges on new evidence of shared IP.
Present it.
His counsel droned. Timestamps. Collaborative emails.
Lies. Cherry-picked.
Then Rivera paused. And MS. Hale's counter. Fraud in the underlying claims. My docs, Elena's forensics, projected. The transfers. The abuse trail. Gasps from the gallery. Ethan's face. Ashen. Eyes darting to me. He spotted me then. Venom flashing. Recess hit. He stormed over. Security trailing. You vindictive cunt, he hissed.
Low.
Mom would have hated this. Mom, I stood. Unflinching. Mom would have wanted justice. You sped her end for a quick buck. How's that feel? Golden boy. His fist clenched, then deflated. Cameras flashed outside. Paps swarmed. You'll regret this, he muttered, slinking away. Regret? The word echoed as I cabbed uptown. Rain streaking windows. Lena waited at the loft with takeout Thai and a bottle of Veuve. Slade, she toasted. But my phone buzzed, Harlan. The VC patriarch.
Bold.
Charlotte. Risky as hell.
But.
We're doubling down. 50 mil Series B. The empire swelled. Acquisitions. Global push. Hail Predict became synonymous with unbreakable, a brand forged in fire. Summer faded to fall. Leaves carpeting Central Park like confetti from a funeral. Dad passed quietly, peaceful. Unlike Mom's drag. His will split even, half to me, half to Ethan in trust. I donated my share to Alzheimer's research. A middle finger to the games. Ethan's? Tied up in liens. Worthless. He vanished. Rumors of a Baja hideout. Bartending for crypto bros. The gala capped it. FinTech awards at the Javits Center. Chandeliers dripping light over black ties and gowns. I walked the carpet solo. Emerald dress hugging like armor. Lena whooping from the sidelines. Best innovation. Hail Predict. The crowd roared as I took the stage. Trophy heavy. This isn't just code, I said. Voice carrying. It's payback. For every idea stolen. Every voice silenced. We predict the future, but we build it. Applause thundered. Ethan watched from the bar. Uninvited ghost. Glass trembling. After party blurred, deals whispered.
Dances spun.
Harlan cornered me by the balcony. Cigar smoke curling. You're a force.
Hail.
But that family bomb? Controversy's a drug. Careful it doesn't addict you. Wise words. As dawn broke over the river, I stepped into the crisp air. City humming below. Addict? Maybe. But cured of naivety. Yet the coil tightened. A late-night email from an anonymous source. Ask your brother about the accident. 2019. Mom's fall. Heart stuttered. Fall? Official story. Slippery tub. Post-diagnosis, mishap. But Ethan had been alone with her that weekend. I'd been at a hackathon. The attachment, a blurry dashcam still. Ethan's car swerving near the family home. Timestamp. Night of the fall.
No.
The twist uncoiled slow. Venomous. I'd avenged the idea. The lies, but this? Murder? The decision loomed again. Darker. Dig. Destroy utterly. Or walk away. Let karma claim him. Controversial? Walking was the controversy, forgiving the unforgivable. The email burned a hole in my inbox. Cursor hovering like a loaded gun. Accident. 2019. Mom's fall, the one that cracked her hip, accelerated the decline, turned our home into a sterile cage of walkers and regret. I'd accepted it then. Grief blinded. Coding through funerals. Now, the dashcam image mocked, Ethan's Audi fishtailing on our street. Headlights glaring at the Hale mailbox. Timestamp. 2:17 a.m. Hours after our trip. What had he done? Pushed? Fled a scene? The anonymous sender, traced to a burner VPN. But Elena's forensics pinged a Brooklyn IP, fhale87@gmail.com variant. Brother dearest. Covering tracks. I didn't sleep. Paced the loft till dawn. Skyline mocking with its indifferent glow. Lena found me at 6 a.m. Coffee brewing like war paint. What's the play? She asked. Scanning the image. Play? This wasn't fintech chess, it was blood sport. Expose. And Hale predict became tabloid fodder. Murder in the boardroom. Bury it. And I became the enabler. Death's accomplice twice over. The controversy clawed. Family over fortune. Or truth over tribe. American dream twisted. Pull yourself up, but don't drag kin down. Yet here I was. Ghost of betrayals past. Weighing a brother's soul. PI first, I decided. Double Elena's retainer. Hit the streets. Days blurred. Interviews with Mom's old nurses. Whispers of Ethan's visits. Agitated. Demanding meds for her pain. A home health aide. Rosa. Met me in a Queen's diner. Voice quaking.
He yelled that night.
Said she was faking to keep the house.
Then.
Sirens. Faking?
Mom.
Bedridden. Voice a whisper? Rage simmered. But proof? Elusive. Ethan's Baja Trail went cold, private jet log scrubbed. Until a tip, sighting in Miami, holed up in a South Beach flophouse, pitching shady crypto schemes. I flew down. Incognito, baseball cap. Rental beater. Miami hit like a fever, neon pulse. Salt air thick with regret. Found him in a dive bar off Ocean Drive, nursing a Cuba Libre. Eyes hollow. He spotted me across the room. Froze like a deer in halogens. Charlie. No fight. Just defeat. We stepped into the alley. Humidity clinging like guilt. You ran, I said, voice even. From the appeal. The truth.
Mom.
His laugh was hollow. Bark scraped. Truth? You're the Grim Reaper.
Sis.
Dragging skeletons for sport. I shoved the printout, dashcam. Email. His face crumpled. Not denial.
But shame.
It was an accident. Fight, stupid one. She found the statements. The transfers. Called me a thief.
I
Grabbed her arm. She slipped on the rug. I panicked. Drove off to clear my head.
grabbed.
Slipped. The euphemisms of cowards. You killed her, I whispered. The words I'd buried. For money. For glory. Tears tracked his stubble. I was drowning.
Char.
Dad's shadow. Your brains, I was the failure. The app? Your app, it was my ticket out. Confession spilled. The sabotage. Not just financial but fatal. A shove born of desperation. Covered with lies. The secret's core, greed's black heart. Forgive me, echo of the penthouse plea. Forgive. Wind whipped off the waves, carrying salt and sorrow. You erased me. Erased her.
No.
But as he slumped against graffiti walls, something fractured. Not absolution, accountability. Turn yourself in, I said. Manslaughter. Make it right. He nodded. Broken. For Mom, for all of us. I left him there. Flight home a blur. Elena filed the report, anonymous tip to Miami PD. Arrest hit headlines. Disgraced fintech heir surrenders in mother's death probe. Controversy crested. Protests outside my office. Justice or vendetta? While supporters rallied. Hail predict. Predicting truth. Stock rebounded. Stronger. Users hit 2 mil. Drawn to the saga's grit. Trial season gripped the city like a vice. I testified, cool. Factual. The fights. The finances. The false shadow.
Ethan.
In orange jumpsuit. Eyes downcast. No charm offensive, just please. The jury diverse. Jury of our peers deliberated 3 days. Verdict. Manslaughter. 15 years. No death penalty dance. But closure's cold kiss. He mouthed sorry as they led him away. I nodded once, not forgiveness, but release. Back in the loft. Alone with the skyline. I cracked a window. Wind howled. Carrying ghosts. Lena moved out, new place. New life, but texted, proud.
Shark.
Miriam retired to the Keys. Last words, you built an empire on bones. Make it count. I did. Hail Predict evolved, AI for social good, elder fraud detection modules. Free for nonprofits. Mom's legacy.
Digitized.
The final hook? A letter from Ethan. Prison stamped.
Charlie, you won.
But in winning, did you lose us? The family Dad dreamed? I burned it. Ashes scattering to the Hudson. Lose?
No.
I reclaimed. From death's glitch to this, throne of my making. Controversial crown heavy but mine. Years blurred. Hail Predict a behemoth. Me a mogul mentoring MIT dropouts. Lena's wedding, me as best woman. Toasting to do-overs and dirty fights. No by kitsch, just hard-won dawn. But in quiet moments, the hook lingers, that rainy Tuesday. Pills dissolving. I chose life then, in the rewind. And every day since. The end? Not quite. Revenge isn't a period, it's an ellipsis. What's next? Another betrayal? Or peace? Hard-earned? In America, the game's never over. But this round, I scripted the win.